What if I told you the most feared strategist of the Astraven Empire once died alone in a silent room, unknown, unloved, unremembered? No prophecy marked his birth, no god whispered his name, no one waited for him to become great. His name was Auren Vael, and before he built an empire, he died as a nobody. Before we go deep into the story, please like, comment, and subscribe. Auren's first life was painfully ordinary. He woke up, he worked, he returned home exhausted. He repeated the same cycle until days blurred into nothing. No grand ambitions, no heroic destiny, just survival. Until one morning, something felt wrong. A sharp pressure in his chest, his breath shortened, the world tilted. He pressed his hand over his heart, and everything went black. No dramatic speech, no final regret, just silence. And then, light. He opened his eyes, expecting a hospital ceiling. Instead, he saw something hovering above him, a small creature, a dog, floating in midair. Auren blinked. Was he hallucinating? He tried to lift his hand, but it was tiny, soft, a child's hand. Voices echoed around him in a strange language, yet somehow he understood every word. Days passed before reality settled in. He had not survived. He had been reborn. When servants carried him before a mirror, Auren stared at the reflection in disbelief. A young boy stared back, silver-trimmed noble garments, clear eyes, untouched innocence. He wasn't just alive again. He was the son of Lord Auren Vael, the iron-fisted governor of Darien, one of the strongest territories within the Astraven Empire. Servants bowed when he passed. Guards saluted him. Luxury surrounded him. But what truly changed everything was the voice in his mind. When Auren focused on someone, information surfaced: strength, weakness, potential, an ability he would later call evaluation. At first, he thought it was imagination, until the day he wandered into the training grounds. Two soldiers were sparring. One dominated mercilessly, driving the other into the dirt while the watching crowd laughed. Auren activated his ability. What he saw contradicted everything happening before him. The weaker soldier had low aptitude for close combat, but his archery potential was extraordinary. "Why don't you try a bow?" Auren asked calmly. The soldier froze. "My lord, I have never touched one." "Try." The man obeyed. He lifted the bow awkwardly, drew the string, released. The arrow pierced the exact center of the target. Silence swallowed the yard. He fired again, another perfect strike. The soldiers turned to Auren in shock. "How did you know?" Auren smiled faintly. "Just a feeling." But in that moment, something shifted. He realized something terrifying. This world had not given him overwhelming strength. It had given him vision. And vision could reshape kingdoms. Years passed. Auren studied quietly, observed silently, learned how power moved through rooms before words were spoken. Lord Auren Vael ruled through strength, through dominance, through reputation built on the battlefield. Auren would rule differently. One afternoon, while wandering through the marketplace, he saw a boy thrown to the ground, beaten, mocked, starving. The boy belonged to the race known as the Twin Sovereigns, descendants of ancient kings, now reduced to slaves. Auren activated evaluation, and his breath caught. The numbers were staggering: physical aptitude beyond reason,
combat growth potential rivaling Draven himself. "What is your name?" Auren asked. Riker glared upward, pride burning through pain. "Riker Voss." Riker refused food at first, refused kindness, refused weakness, but hunger eventually wins against pride. Auren offered him more than survival. "Stand beside me," he said quietly. "Not beneath, beside." When Lord Draven learned of this, his expression hardened. "A slave? In my house?" Auren didn't argue. Draven proposed a test instead. "If he can touch me once in combat, he stays." The courtyard filled with tension. Riker attacked first. Draven moved like a war god. Within seconds, Riker was thrown into the dirt, blood staining the sand. But when he looked up, he saw Auren watching him, not with doubt, with certainty. Riker stood again. He adjusted, adapted, waited, and then struck. A single cut. One strand of Draven's hair drifted to the ground. Silence. Then laughter. Draven smiled. Riker Voss stayed. That day, Auren confirmed something. He could see greatness before it awakened. The next discovery came wrapped in fire. Her name was Seraphina Blaze, a pickpocket, a survivor, a girl raising orphans in the slums while nobles turned their heads away. Auren activated evaluation. The air felt heavy. Her magical aptitude was explosive, unstable, catastrophic. He asked her to join him. She laughed bitterly. "I'd rather die than serve spoiled nobles." Then she was taken, kidnapped by criminals seeking to sell her back into slavery. That night, a door shattered under Riker's kick. Auren stepped through smoke and fear. The criminals mocked him. Riker erased them. Blood and silence replaced their laughter. Auren placed gold before the leader. "I bought her." Seraphina glared at him in confusion, but when Riker later guided her through her first spell, flames spiraled violently into the sky. The explosion shook the outskirts of Darien. Even Lord Draven could not deny it. Seraphina joined them, not for wealth, but to feed the orphan children they depended on. Auren was not building followers, he was building loyalty through purpose. Then the quiet one came, Auren Vael, thin, reserved, dismissed by his own father as useless, while his brothers Thane Valeric and Lucan Valeric excelled as hunters and warriors. Auren buried himself in books. Evaluation revealed something shocking. Strategic intelligence ranked S. Long-term prediction capacity off the charts. A mind that could outthink generals. Auren brought him to the palace library. Within hours, Auren devoured volumes like a starving man. Knowledge reshaped him visibly. Then Auren tested him. "Hunt," he said. "No weapons." Auren disappeared into the forest. By sunset, dozens of animals had been captured in precisely engineered traps. Escape routes were built for the young, herbs placed to preserve ecological balance. It wasn't hunting, it was system mastery. Auren's father stood stunned. Later that night, hidden tears fell as he admitted he had failed to see his son's worth. Auren overheard. The next morning, he promised softly, "I will make you proud." Auren added another pillar to his foundation: strength, magic, strategy. The Empire was unknowingly taking shape. Then she arrived like moonlight before a storm, Lyra Elise Mirren, daughter of a powerful governor, elegant, calm, brilliant. Evaluation revealed diplomatic mastery at a level Auren had never seen. He could read rooms in seconds, predict reactions before words were spoken. But Auren hesitated. Power was measurable, intent was not. Lyra solved disputes effortlessly, predicted rainfall with flawless calculations, calmed angry crowds with a single sentence. One evening she asked him, "What makes you love someone?" He answered honestly, "Truth." She promised she would never lie. They soon married, but the Astraven Empire was fracturing. The province of Varethia stood divided between two princes. Neighboring Dracomar prepared to interfere. War was inevitable. Auren demanded to lead. Draven refused. Instead, he forced Auren to watch an execution. A criminal's neck snapped beneath the blade. The sound echoed.
Auren's vision blurred. His body rejected the scene. He collapsed. Draven's voice was cold. This is war. The army marched without him. On the battlefield, Seraphina's flames tore through enemy lines. Riker moved like death incarnate. Sirion predicted enemy formations flawlessly. Victory came. But Draven returned barely standing. His health deteriorated sharply. Auren felt the weight of guilt crushing his chest. If I were stronger, he trained relentlessly, bruised knuckles, torn muscles, shaking hands. Lyra found him one night under pouring rain. "As long as I'm weak," he whispered, "I can't protect the ones I love." For the first time, Auren understood the true burden of leadership. Seeing talent was easy, commanding death was not. Soon, Draven gathered them all. "I speak not as governor," he said quietly, "but as a father." The wars ahead would be worse. Auren would inherit more than territory. He would inherit blood, responsibility, sacrifice. Auren Vael had died once as a nobody. Now he stood at the center of a kingdom on the brink of collapse. Not the strongest warrior, not the most powerful mage, but the one who could see what others could not. Greatness in slaves, in thieves, in cowards, in broken souls discarded by society. And when the final war comes, history will not remember the lonely boy who died clutching his chest. It will remember the name Auren Vael, the man who built an empire from those the world refused to see. Because true power was never about strength, it was about vision. And Auren saw the future long before the future realized it belonged to him.